Yo, what's going on everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go discussion video. Alright, so for today's video, I wanted to cover a topic which I feel like does not get addressed by content creators as well as the Pokemon Go community as a whole. And what topic is that? Well, when it comes to Pokemon Go, I really feel like the bread and butter of this game comes down to min-maxing. What do I mean by that? Well, when it comes to raid battles, Team Go Rocket battles, gym battles, as well as PvP, the thing that can matter most is having the best IVs for the Pokemon that you are using. That means for stuff like raid battles, Team Go Rocket battles, and gym battles, having yourself perfect IVs of meta Pokemon, and then when it comes to PvP, having PvP rank 1 IVs for your meta Pokemon. I think this is an aspect of Pokemon Go that is producing the most longevity. Like, if you're doing raid battles, there's one main reason why you are continuing to do that raid, even if you already have the raid boss, and that is having yourself a full team of high IV of those Pokemon. I think that's one of the reasons why I continue to raid in Pokemon Go, even though I have pretty much every single legendary. There are certain legendaries that when they are in raids, I try to raid them as much as I can. And the reason for that is because my goal is to have 6 100% IVs of those legendaries that I could use in raids. For example, with Rayquaza and Mewtwo, those are Pokemon that no matter what, I'm going to go really hard whenever they're in raid battles. And the reason for that is because I want to get perfect IVs of both of those Pokemon. I already have a 100% IV Rayquaza, and I also already have a Shundo of a Rayquaza, but I still find myself rating that Pokemon as much as I can, simply for the fact that I still need 4 more 100% IVs, and I still need them maxed out. I think this is one aspect of Pokemon Go that is going to cause it to last forever. There's so many reasons why Pokemon Go could end up failing and crashing and burning in the future, but as long as they continue to release meta-relevant Pokemon, like with the upcoming Necrozma and all of its fusions, people are going to continue to play the game because they want to get 100% IVs of those Pokemon. And just so you know, getting 100% IVs is incredibly difficult. I mean, let me just say this. One of the big reasons why players were so up in arms regarding the remote raid pass nerf last year is because it disrupted the min-maxing gameplay. People were doing a whole bunch of raids and it was the most cost-efficient way. And it's mainly because they were looking for 100% IVs. I found myself doing dozens of raids every single day, even if the raid boss was not relevant. And the reason for that is because I was looking for the hundos and shundos of that raid boss. And because Niantic restricted that form of gameplay, a lot of players were really unhappy about it. So I do think that what Niantic needs to do is take steps and measures to actually support the min-maxing aspect of Pokemon Go. They need to give us different ways for getting legendary Pokemon, and they also need to give us different opportunities for getting 100% IV Pokemon. If they do that, I think the gameplay will last much longer, and more players are going to be engaged with the game. And this also goes for a lot of the Pokemon where people only get one chance at them. I'm talking about those mythical Pokemon. And I feel like because Niantic does not offer additional ways for getting those Pokemon, that causes a lot of players to be frustrated. And I think this is something Niantic should look into because for myself, if I had myself a 100% IV Zygarde, I'd be doing routes every single day. But because the Zygarde that I ended up getting from the special research was trash, I do not find myself ever caring about getting Zygarde cells. So I really do think that Niantic needs to support IV and min-maxing gameplay. If they gave me different opportunities for getting Zygarde and eventually getting that 100% IV, that gives me motivation to do a whole bunch of stuff in Pokemon Go. So yeah, IVs are really what matter here. I know there's a lot of players who comment on my videos asking for bottle caps or some way to manipulate IVs. And I can understand where the desire for that actually comes from because maybe you have a whole bunch of 98% IV Pokemon and you want to get those 100% IVs. Or you're struggling to get yourself high IVs of a particular Pokemon and you want to use bottle caps to kind of push you over the edge. I understand the desire for that, but I ultimately feel like that's not necessarily going to be good for the long-term health of Pokemon Go, because ultimately what it comes down to is that they bring back raid bosses every so often, and whenever they do, people are on the hunt for those 100% IVs. And I think that's a good model for Pokemon Go, in my opinion. Yes, I think they could do more in offering more legendaries over time, aside from just raid battles, But I think that ultimately Niantic has set up Pokemon Go for continued success. And on top of that, as more people continue to join in on Pokemon Go, they're going to find themselves reaching a point where they're going to essentially catch everything that the game has to offer. But they're still going to be going after those 100% IVs. There is just infinite replayability when it comes to Pokemon Go, and I really do think that at the end of it, that is actually really good design, and I have to give Niantic credit for that specific aspect. Now, there's going to be another group of players who are going to say that IVs simply do not matter, and content creators are doing a big disservice to the Pokemon Go community by focusing so much on min-maxing. But I vehemently disagree with that, although I will say that yes, IVs don't necessarily always matter. But I still feel like this aspect of Pokemon Go is what makes the game healthy and what keeps a lot of players from continuing to play the game. I do understand that there have been so many missteps when it comes to how Niantic has been handling different aspects of Pokemon Go. Like, for example, the avatar customization update is a huge disaster. Of course, the nerf to remote raid passes was just incredibly unpopular for the right reasons. But I do feel like because Pokemon Go is designed the way that it currently is, players are still going to play Pokemon Go. People still want 100% IVs of their favorite Pokemon. And I think because of that, that is the reason why Pokemon Go is always going to be in a healthy state. I did recently make a video talking about how Pokemon Go is always going to be around. That essentially no matter what Niantic does, that people are still going to play Pokemon Go and it's still going to exist. I think this is a big reason for that. Because even for myself, the reason why I'm still playing Pokemon Go to this day is because I'm still looking for 100% IVs and PvP rank 1 IVs for a bunch of Pokemon. And the thing is, even if I'm not engaging in a lot of those areas, I still want it for the collection aspect of it. Like, what is the point of doing a whole bunch of Azelf raids? Like, it's because I want 100% IVs for Azelf, just to say that I have it. And then, of course, they have a Perfect IV Pokedex now, and I'm trying to fill that out because I think that would be a huge accomplishment. And it's something that will keep me busy with Pokemon Go for years to come. So a lot of these reasons are why I feel like IVs and min-maxing matters. Because if you do not care about min-maxing, you're essentially going to be bored with Pokemon Go after about a year's top. Of course, I will agree that there's already a lot of players who feel bored with Pokemon Go as it currently is, and that's because Niantic hasn't really done anything exciting. But I still feel like if you get to the core of it, one of the main reasons why players care about Pokemon Go is because of the min-maxing. And because of that, I feel like Pokemon Go is going to last forever. So yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on this subject because I do see a lot of your comments every now and then talking about how min-maxing is not good for the game and it's essentially like IVs do not matter, or maybe you want some ways to get perfect IVs that are a lot easier. And I kind of wanted to address a lot of that in one video. I really do think that min-maxing is a good thing for the game. If you believe otherwise, I totally understand, but personally, I feel like you're playing the wrong game if that's your mentality, because Pokemon Go, yes, is a very casual-friendly game. It's a game where you just go out and collect Pokemon. That's the whole gameplay loop of Pokemon Go. But when you dig deep into it and you go into the little intricacies and the complexities behind all of that, that's when the game truly becomes fun, in my opinion. I think going after IVs unlocks a whole different aspect of Pokemon Go where you're actually going to care about every single raid battle that you do. You're going to care about every single trade that you do. You're going to care about every single Pokemon that you catch, even if you already have those Pokemon. You're going to find yourself continuously playing the game. So, yeah. But in any case, that's pretty much going to be it for this discussion. I just wanted to share my thoughts regarding all of this. Let me know down below, are you one of those players who absolutely despises the min-maxing aspect of Pokemon Go, or are you someone who actually enjoys it and finds that this is the reason why you're continuing to play the game? Definitely share all of your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions. And yeah, let's take those opinions and have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. If you ended up enjoying it and found it to be insightful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And also don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you could do so is by becoming a member of my Patreon. If you do that, you'll get a permanent spot on my in-game Pokemon Go friends list. So when it comes to remote raids and the friendship system, if you want to play Pokemon Go with me, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And if you want to support my channel in a different way, you could do so by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula. I'm on the platforms that you see on screen, and make sure you go over there and give me a follow. And that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.